Good afternoon and a warm welcome to Spotland, the home of Rochdale Hornets Rugby League Club. And today Hull have made their first journey over the Pennines of the season to Rochdale Hornets. Now, this is a new experience for Hull to come to Spotland. Rochdale moved into this ground at the end of the season before last, and they are actually partners with the soccer club here. It's not a rental arrangement. They sold the athletics ground and have moved in here as 50% partners. Now, let's look back a moment to last week. Hull, that fine 32-6 win over Widnes, a game that left us all totally breathless at the end, and it's put Hull on top of the First Division League table for the first time since 1983, with 3 league wins out of 3. And there's no doubt about it that Hull intend to stay there. This is an important game today, as it is for Rochdale, who have started the season in an opposite fashion with 3 defeats, and they lie at the bottom of the table. Last week they lost in a respectable performance at Wigan by 20 points to 2, and they're facing the problem that's placed by so many newly promoted sides, and that is that they're playing well and they're being competitive, but they just aren't winning. And as the weeks go by, the pressure will mount for them. So for different reasons, these two sides have a lot at stake today. If we look at previous matches between Hull and Rochdale, you've got to go back, in fact, to 1975-6 for the last league fixture between the two sides. That was a second division game here in Rochdale at the athletics ground, which Rochdale won by 6 points to 5. But the two sides have not met since that date, so it's a very unfamiliar experience to be playing Rochdale Hornets. And they've never met before in a first division fixture. Now, if we have a look at the two sides today, if we run through the Rochdale side, fullback is Colin Whitfield. The wings are John Higgins and Steve Turner, and the centres Mark Lord and Mark Nixon, both of whom scored a lot of tries in the second division last year. Halfbacks are Bob Grogan, the former Halifax and Gold Coast player, and Andy Sullivan, former Widnes scrum half. Neil Holding, a recent signing, is not in the side today. Moving into the forwards, Neil Cowie at 8, Martin Hall 9, Tony Humphries 10, and the back 3, Ian Gormley, Dave Gallagher and Paul McDermott. Substitutes Mark Villiers and Carl Marriott. The Hull side, very much the same as last week, except one change. Carl Harrison comes in for Ian Marlowe, who moves onto the bench. So, running through the full side, fullback Richard Gay, the wings Paul Eastwood and Neil Turner, the centres Rob Nolan and Brad Webb, halfbacks Greg Mackey, who's captain, and Patrick Ontar. In the forwards, Carl Harrison, Lee Jackson, Andy Dennett, John Sharp, Russ Walker, Steve McNamara, the substitutes Ian Marlowe and Noel Cleal. So, with the game about to get underway, I'm going to ask Brian Holwell for his comments. Seems to me today that the key, Brian, will be Hull's attitude. We know they can beat Rochdale Hornets, but we hope they don't underestimate them.
Yeah, I think that is a point. This is the first game of the season that Hull really start favourites. In spite of playing away, given that we've started off very well, 3 wins, and Rochdale have had 3 defeats, complacency, I think, will be Hull's biggest danger today. If they play to the potential, certainly if they play as well as they did against Widnes, I don't think we'll have any problems. But I'm sure Rochdale will come out all guns firing. It's too early in the season to say that desperation has set in, but certainly they're under pressure, and certainly the coach, Alan Agar, has an excellent reputation as a coach. He's under pressure as well, so I'm sure they'll be giving it a full go. They're at home, they may well fancy the chance of breaking the duck today. So it's really up to Hull, particularly in the first 10 minutes, 12 minutes, to really establish their authority on the game and get right on top in the forwards.
And so Hull take the field here at Spotland, looking a very confident side, as they should do after these 3 opening wins. And with Great Britain's selection being made in the next week, at least the squad I think is going to be announced for the test matches. Which of the Hull players do you think's in with a good chance, Brian?
Well, certainly the whole of the front row, and I think Eastwood as well. They've also all been with a good chance. I don't think really anyone else, because I imagine that Malcolm Reilly will keep faith with the players he took to New Zealand and the people like Hanley, maybe Edwards and Gregory who stayed at home. So I don't really leave a great many places, but certainly the front row and Paul Eastwood as well, I think.
Yeah, we've heard the rumour that Carl Harrison has only really to play to be selected in the squad, so it's obviously a big day for him.
Yeah, certainly. And he may well have done himself a favour by not playing last week if his shoulder wasn't 100% right. If it, you know, hopefully with that extra week's rest, he'll really be on top form today, Steve.
Any thoughts about the 2 Hull substitutes coming in with 2 forwards today?
Yeah, well, obviously Cleale's flexible enough to play in the centre, as he's done on previous occasions, or even move Steve McNamara from loose forward to stand-off, because he's played that position as well. But it must be quite worrying for the opposition to have 2 16-stoners stripped and ready to come on the field.
Well, we hope so. The referee today is Mr. Paul Crashley from Wakefield, and we're just about to get underway here. Well, this Spotland ground is in very good condition. A lot of cover for the spectators. The pitch is absolutely spotless, if you'll excuse the pun. And there was in fact a 4th Division soccer game on this ground yesterday, so it's certainly not showing any signs of wear and tear from that. So it's Hull who are going to kick off. Steve McNamara is going to get us underway. A lot of Hull supporters here. And he goes for the low, deep kick. And Russ Walker, Lee Jackson in on the tackle. And the first fumble of the game from acting halfback. And Hull immediately get an excellent position. Gallagher, the player, knocking on. Onto wins the ball. Eastwood, tackled on the 25 by Nixon, the Kiwi centre. Hull move it to the left. Mackie, delayed pass to Dannett. Dannett makes the bust. Here's Gay. Good play from Hull early in the first few minutes. Mackie. Harrison is dropped off by Ontar. About 5 yards from the Rochdale line. Move it to the right. Mackie. Chadal pass to Nolan. And he steps inside the tackle of Humphreys and makes it look easy. And Hull on the board in the first minute of the game. And really, the Rochdale defence drawn in by play. Hull moving it to their left. And the ball quickly switched back to the right. And Rob Nolan had an acre of space. He also had Paul Eastwood outside him. A superb start, Brian.
Yeah, made it look very easy there. Good long ball by Mackie into Nolan into the gap. It sidestepped Humphreys, the Rochdale prop on his way over the line, made it very, very easy. A lot of space on this wing still to go, really. Couldn't wish for a better start than that, Steve.
Absolutely perfect. So Paul Eastwood has this conversion kick. He's only a few yards to the right of the posts. And he's successful. So with 2 minutes gone, Hull have a 6-0 lead. And really, the Rochdale defence opened up pretty easily there. Walker to bring it up. And Rochdale have possession. It's Sullivan tearing the ball away from Walker. And he finds room on the right. Here's Humphreys. And Rochdale replying in kind, 10 yards from the whole line. Sullivan. Gallagher. Good tackle by Mackey, ball and all. Grogan. Sullivan. And the ball is spilled by Cowie. And so the scrum will go down after that knock-on, a matter of 10 yards from the line. But Rochdale looking reasonably dangerous there. They got their half-backs into good positions.
Yeah, look quite quick moving the ball across the field, but on first appearances look rather underpowered in the forwards team. It's quite a light pack of forwards.
So Ontar to feed this scrum, and the referee immediately penalises him for feeding his own feet. And as we say every week, what we want on this is consistency. And Colin Whitfield, much travelled player, kicks for touch, and Rochdale have a position now 10 yards from the whole line. Hall to play it. Humphreys brings it up. Martin Hall, a product of the Oldham amateur game, acting halfback, and Hull offside in front of the post. So Rochdale considering taking the tap start and going for the 6 points, but in the end they're settling for what should be a guaranteed 2. Carl Harrison laying down the law to his forwards there. And the Rochdale goal kicker is Neil Turner, who was quite a prolific point scorer in the second division last year, the wingman. And he really has the easiest of kicks here. No problems at all. So, Rochdale Hornets 2 and Hull 6 after 5 minutes of play. Both sides conceding points from losing the ball early in the tackle count in their own quarter. Quick kick-off by Hull, taken by Paul McDermott, who runs it back almost to the quarter line. This is prop Cowie. And on the blind side, it's second rower Gormley, signing from Salford in close season. Long ball out from Sullivan to his second rower Gallagher, but a good tackle by Andy Dannett up there to close play down. Whitfield kicks. Richard Gay has to turn. And he takes the ball to about 30 yards from the whole line. Turner from acting halfback. Jackson dummies to Gay and picks up John Sharp on the outside. Andy Dannett. Inside the Rochdale half now. A long ball back from Ontar to Eastwood, who kicks. And the ball is bumped down to Whitfield. Thought about kicking it and decided to run, but in fact he's tackled 10 yards from his own line by the good chase from Greg Mackey. McDermott going across the field, slipping out of a tackle, but no way forward there for centre Mark Lord. Now here's Bob Grogan, good playmaker of a player, tackled well though by Russ Walker. And Greg Mackey again in the tackle. Sullivan looks for the inside ball, but is wrapped up by Ontar. And a fumble from acting halfback by Sullivan, and that was on the 5th tackle, so it's a turnover. And as you said, Brian, Rochdale struggling to take the ball away through their forwards.
Yes, they are. They're much lighter than the Hull pack. In that last period of play when Hull were just taking it 1 and 2 off the ruck, they made plenty of ground.
John Sharp tackle with our other high one. Here's Harrison bouncing out of the tackles, drawing in 3 men to take him down. Quick play the ball. Hull move it to the left. Mackey brings it back up the middle. Russ Walker looking for that gap near the posts. And a penalty awarded against second rower Gormley for a high tackle on Carl Harrison. And Harrison's injured after that one. It's not Harrison, sorry, it's Walker. But plenty of pressure for the Rochdale defence here.
Yeah, they're difficulty in containing the strong running Hull forwards then. And I think that if Hull keep to a pattern, they should have no difficulty, I think, in wearing Rochdale down.
So Russ Walker looks to have recovered, and Paul Eastwood will have this goal kick. And this is from a position almost identical to the one where he converted the try from. Ian Marlowe having the job of sand boy today at the moment. Eastwood kicks, and although he didn't strike it particularly well, it's over the bar, and that's what counts, and it's another 2 points to Hull. So the lead after 10 minutes of the game is Hull 8 and Rochdale Hornets 2. Turner is going to get us underway again. Kicks out on the left wing, taken by Brad Webb, and he clears the quarter line before being tackled. Turner from acting halfback. Walker back in the action. And the kick this time on the fourth tackle. And Paul Eastwood getting a lot of distance on that. Whitfield taking the ball near his own line, is faced by Rob Nolan, who makes the tackle well and is assisted by Carl Harrison. Seems to me that Paul Eastwood has added a few yards to his clearing kicks this year.
Yeah, that was a good 50-yard kick. Another mistake by Rochdale.
The ball taken by Nolan. Jackson from acting halfback, and Hull have another excellent position here, deep inside the Rochdale quarter. Carl Harrison. Ontar calling the plays. Dummies once too often there, and Rochdale, I think, have come up with possession. Ontar a little bit indecisive, and in the tackle he was dispossessed. Here's Humphreys bringing it away for Rochdale. They move it to the right. Cowie, but a rather ambitious ball from Cowie, and he goes to floor. So this scrum goes down about 17, 18 yards away from the Rochdale line, and it's a Hull put-in. And won by Hull. McNamara breaking on the blind side. Ontar detached himself, looking for that short side play. Dunnett runs at them hard and breaks through the tackles. Jackson goes from acting halfback, held up on the line. Ontar moves it to the left. John Sharp, McNamara, Gay out to Turner, and Turner's in the corner. And as easy as that. Really just simple passing on the short side, and Neil Turner really almost had a walk in at the corner. And Hull are certainly turning pressure into points inside the Rochdale quarter. A fairly simple try, Brian.
Very simple, classic rugby league try, just drew the defence into the middle and moved it quickly to the left. And as you said, he just walked over in the corner. Hull are making it very easy in that last 2 or 3 minutes when Rochdale have had the ball, they've lost it while in the possession in their own 25. At the moment, they just don't look strong enough physically to take the way out the 25, and I think they've only kicked once as well, Steve, which is rather surprising given the lightweight pack of forwards. I thought they'd been better off kicking and chasing.
Yeah, you would have thought so. That sequence of play really came from a mistake by the prop, who tried to give out an impossible pass, and that's maybe the pressure they're under, that he saw a chance for a half break and decided he'd take it. It really wasn't a good policy. So Paul Eastwood has a difficult kick from the left-hand touchline. Strikes it, but it goes across the face of the post. Turner kicks off again, this time along the floor. Picked up by Onta. Runs at the defence himself. 5 yards short of the quarter line. John Sharp on the burst. Clears the quarter line. This time Harrison makes the break. Good tackle in the end by hooker Martin Hall. Mackey joins play, kicks over the top, and a high tackle by Paul McDermott, who stuck an arm out there and caught Greg Mackey pretty high around the head. The referee, I think, looks as if he's going to sin bin McDermott. 10 minutes, and Hull have the penalty just outside the Rochdale quarter. Well, not much doubt about that one.
Not much doubt, and I thought Mackey is very fortunate to be up now walking. Looked very bad, Steve. He recovered very quickly for it.
Sullivan has got the role of the first receiver playmaker at the moment. Again, this time inside to prop Cowie, who gets the ball away well. To Sullivan. Grogan this time. Good decisive ball out to centre Lord, who takes play within 10 yards of the whole quarter. Grogan attempts the short ball and it goes backwards. So Rochdale still in possession. First bit of real pressure Hull have had. Here's a break by Martin Hall. Good tackle by Richard Gay, saved the try. About 4 yards from the Hull line. Turner out to Sullivan, out to Humphreys. Nixon back inside to Turner off his wing, and he's made the line. He's there. And Rochdale reply with a good try. And their support work was pretty good then, Brian.
Yeah, very good support work. At one time the movement nearly broke down, but they brought it back this way and Turner came on the base and found a gap. Should give Rochdale quite a lot of confidence, Steve.
It certainly will. They've done well to come back, especially as considering they've only got 12 men on the field at the moment. But the really damaging break there was made by hooker Martin Hall. He was stopped by an excellent tackle from Richard Gay, but Rochdale, from the consequent play, were able to work room for Turner on the inside to go over for the try. So here's a chance for Turner to convert his own try, and Rochdale right back in the game. His kick is successful, so Rochdale Hornets back within 4 points now, at 8 points to 12. So 12-8 to Hull, and we've had 19 minutes of play. So just in case Hull thought that this was going to be a little bit easy, Rochdale have hit back very, very hard. McNamara kicks, and that's too long, way over the dead ball line, and so Rochdale come up with the penalty on the halfway. That was a very long kick. There's no breeze to speak of here today, but a bit of a miscalculation there.
I think actually, when I look at the markings on the ground, I think it's quite a short ground. I think that's why Pater are making so much distance. That ball went a good 10 yards dead. And looking at the flags, I think Hull have got a slight advantage. I think the wind's, it's only a very light wind and Hull have got it, but I think really it is quite a short pitch.
Very, very narrow and short in goal areas as well. So Steve Turner to have a shot at goal. At that one he makes a complete hash off, well picked up by Ontar. And Rob Nolan brings it away and does well to reach the quarter line, but he's lost possession. Knock on and given. Ontar cleans it up, but the scrum will go down. So both sides guilty at the moment of fumbling in their own quarter. Sullivan from the scrum, Grogan. Sullivan on the runaround. Whitfield, lovely time pass to centre three-quarter Lord. Cowie on the short side, makes a few more yards. Sullivan, long ball out to Grogan. Long, good flat pass to Whitfield. Well, the whole tackler's there. Drop off to Humphries, finds the gap up the middle. 10 yards from the whole line. Martin Hall from acting halfback, 6 tackle. Sullivan, Grogan, short ball, and here's a try to second rower. The 2 second rowers combining well. And it's a try to Gormley, backing up Gallagher's break. And the game has turned right round, Brian.
It has. Talking about, it's only 10 minutes ago I was saying that Hull seemed to be overpowering Rochdale. Well, they've struck back with 2 excellent high-speed attacks. That was very good. On the last tackle, Grogan brought the ball back to the right, found the second row man on the best. He was held up in the tackle, but he was strong enough to give it to the other one. Gormley was backing up on his outside. Very good try.
So with the Turner's successful conversion, Rochdale take the lead. Well, we wouldn't have believed this 5 minutes ago, but now the score is Rochdale 14 and Hull 12. So all thoughts of complacency and will have been shaken out of Hull by this. And Rochdale really buzzing now. McNamara to kick off. He drills a ball along the ground this time. It's taken by Santa Nixon. Second row Gallagher. Here's Humphries breaking the first tackle. 5 yards outside his own quarter line. Sullivan. A good tackle by McNamara coming across from the marker position. This time Hall kicks to Gay. He has to go back in his own quarter to retrieve it. Picks up Neil Turner. And he's chased and tackled well by Nixon, assisted by Grogan. John Sharp. And Hull now being put under pressure themselves. The ball bobbles, rather fortunate Hull. Eastwood gets some room on the outside and almost makes the halfway line. And the touch judge moves in. Now, I think the penalty is going to be given against Eastwood for reacting in that tackle with his elbow. And bad discipline, really, Brian.
Yeah, it was, because Hull were just bringing the ball away there, Steve. We're putting ourselves under pressure again. McDermott's amazing that. McDermott's been off for 10 minutes and Rochdale have scored 2 tries and now he's due to come back. So
Rochdale take the restart 10 yards inside the Hull half. And Hull offside, and the penalty now is given just outside the quarter line, and Turner will surely have a shot at goal here. One thing that struck me, Brian, is that the plays that Rochdale have put on, where they've gained yards and caused problems, have been from inside balls. They haven't looked too clever when they've simply been moving it along the line.
No, they haven't. And both times, I don't know if you noticed, Bob Grogan's been involved. He's put some excellent balls, generally flat balls for people to run onto in midfield.
So Turner has this kick about 10 yards in from touch on the Rochdale left. But he hits that badly. It's very well taken by Rob Nolan, who makes about 10 yards from his own line. So Rochdale still have the lead by 2 points, 14-12. Jackson brings it away from first receiver. Harrison gets over the quarter line, still going. Good run by Carl Harrison. Dannett charges into the Rochdale forwards, and this is where Hull look really dangerous at the moment. The ball back to Eastwood, but a penalty awarded against Rochdale at the play of the ball for holding down. Gave that one rather late. Eastwood kicks to the far side, and Hull will have the restart 35 yards away from the Rochdale line. McNamara this time. Mackie decides to go himself there, but the Rochdale defence read it well. He's taken by McDermott. Jackson. It's the ball away to Mackie, supporting on his right. Hull on the Rochdale quarter line. On to Harrison. Turning, trying to make the ball available. Sharp. Out to McNamara. Inside ball to Walker. But it goes forward from Walker, and it's taken by Nixon. Grogan finds Whitfield coming up to do some of the forwards work. Rochdale move it to the right, and Cowie is tackled on his own quarter line. And a scrum is awarded. Again, a rather late decision from the referee.
Yeah, the referee wasn't quite sure. He looked to his touch, Steve. Or rule that the Rochdale man had knocked on.
So the scrum to go down on the quarter line, about 15 yards in from the touchline. And the ball is over in the middle of the field here. The referee not satisfied with that. It came out to Ontar. McNamara picks the ball up at the base of the scrum. Neil Turner in off the wing. But Rochdale notably tackling with more confidence now, Brian.
Yeah, they're coming very hard indeed. The other thing, Steve, the last scrum, they actually pushed Hull. That's why the possession was so poor to McNamara at the base of the scrum.
Ontar makes a dummy, shows the ball, finds Brad Webb. But he's tackled man and ball by Rochdale winger. Centre Nixon. Last tackle, McNamara. Ball out to Eastwood. Out to Harrison. He runs at the defence himself, but it's on the last tackle. The ball comes up to Rochdale now. They've got a bit of room on their right-hand side. Centre Lord brings it away from the quarter line. John Higgins running in from the wing. Sullivan Runs across the back of the ruck trying to pick up runners, but only loses yards. McDermott from acting halfback. Here's Humphreys bringing it up. Last tackle. Whitfield kicks. And the ball rebounds off Richard Gay's forearm, and the scrum is awarded. So Rochdale certainly exerting as much pressure as Hull at the moment.
No, yeah, playing with bags of spirit, Rochdale, and no little skill, Steve.
So they have the put in and the feed, the head rather, at this scrum. And they win it, but Ontaz round quickly to spoil the ball. Grogan takes it, finds Higgins. Higgins runs back up close to the scrum, just outside the whole quarter. Sullivan, long ball out to Whitfield, who dummies, moves back out to the right. And now Rochdale about 5 yards inside the whole quarter. Sullivan runs across looking for a runner, and Humphreys spills the ball. Hull have it. Dunnett brings it up, and the ball is torn from his grasp whilst on the floor, and the referee awards the penalty. Hall, I think, the culprit, or Humphreys. We've had 31 minutes of this game. And Hull take the restart on the halfway line. John Sharp makes the break, but just falls after he's broken the tackle. Russ Walker. Mackey at acting halfback. Dunnett brings it up the middle this time. Harrison out to Mackey. But Mackey, very little room to move in there, and he's bottled up straight away by fellow Australian Bob Grogan. Hull use the short side. Kick through by Onta. Eastwood's in pursuit. And I think he's going to be penalised for offside, he is, by the referee. So although Eastwood kicked the ball through there, chasing well, he's given us offside. And Turner puts the ball into touch. Rochdale restart just inside their own quarter. Here's Humphreys. Clears the quarter line. Sullivan. Long ball out to Cowie, the prop. He offloads, but that looked suspiciously forward, and the referee, I'm sure, called that right. Well, Cowie's hitting the line pretty hard, but he's throwing out one or two balls which are actually putting his own side under pressure, because they're errors, aren't they, really?
It's because it is spoiling his game, because it's the first time I've seen Cowie play. He's very hard working prop, working hard both on attack and defence.
Richard Gay from that scrum. Brad Webb. Here's Rob Nolan. Well, Rochdale are crossing numbers now, something they weren't doing earlier in the game. John Sharp brings it up, close to the ruck, gets under the first tackle. 5 yards from the Rochdale line. Carl Harrison. But the referee awards a knock-on from the play the ball from acting halfback. There have been too many of those, really, Brian.
Yes, they have. We've lost our composure because, as I said, Hornets are playing with a lot of spirit and a lot of pace now.
And Cleal comes on in the 34th minute. Russ Walker, the man going off. Perhaps Brian Smith feeling that Hull need that rampaging power of Cleal. There are signs that Hull are making room up the middle, and Cleal might be the one to take advantage of any flimsy defence in those areas. Hull offside. Yes, the two markers not standing square on, and that's a bad kick from Turner. It doesn't find touch. Richard Gay has a bit of room to move in. Thinks about the pass to Jackson, but sensibly decides to keep hold. Onta. Dannett charging forward. Hull about 32 yards from the Rochdale line. Bring it to the right. John Sharp makes a few yards forward. Jackson. Mackey. Mackey kicks over the top, a chip kick in behind the defence. Fullback Whitfield has to retrieve it right on his own line. Running from dummy half is winger Turner, makes a good 10. From acting halfback Hall. And the touch judge is in on this side. Play meanwhile is continuing with Humphreys trying to clear his own quarter line, and the referee now has seen his touch judge. Well, this looks as if it might be another penalty against Hull. And penalty awarded against the Hull tacklers for a facial massage, I think. Perhaps a little bit of frustration creeping into Hull's game. They started this game in such a positive manner. 2 early tries, but Rochdale came back very quickly and very well. Second row Gallagher runs it up. Sullivan misses out Cowie and picks up Humphreys. This time Sullivan onto the ball, but he spills it, looking for the short run close to the play of the ball. Noel Cleal in possession with Rochdale offside. Now will Eastwood kick. Cleal plays the ball to himself, picks up Lee Jackson, goes inside the Rochdale quarter, about 15 yards away from the line, front of the post. Noel Cleal himself picks up Onta on the inside. Good tackle by Whitfield. Jackson, Sharp, Harrison, McNamara. Rochdale read it well. They're tackling much better than they did in the early part of the game. Sharp, out to Gay. Gay finds a bit of room, the ball out to Nolan, and Nolan's over. Nolan is over, steps inside what has to be called rather flimsy tackling. Didn't seem to be much on for him there, but he propped off his right foot, came back inside, and beat the tackles to score his second try of the afternoon.
Yeah, made it look easy again, Steve. As I said, very flimsy tackling down this side. That's the twice he's gone down this side with the Rochdale centre and winger not really presenting much of a problem after tackling very well in the middle.
Strikes it beautifully right through the middle. So Hull back 4 points in the lead at 18-14. And we've only got a minute or so to half-time. It's very important now that Hull don't make any errors inside their own quarter. I'm sure Rochdale will kick deep. Whitfield kicks off, taken by Onta, and Neil Turner to bring it up. And he stopped just short of his own quarter line. Cleal acting as the dummy there, the decoy. Onta taking it himself. But the Rochdale markers up to the job. Andy Dannett always makes good yards forward. Jackson kicks through from acting halfback. The ball taken by Sullivan, and he's bottled up just inside his own half by the chasing Cleal. Nixon from acting halfback. Here's Cowie. Rochdale moving to the left. Here's that dangerous man, Grogan. Lovely ball out to the winger on this side, Turner. This is Whitfield running back in field. He's wrapped up by Carl Harrison. Sullivan. Long ball out to Humphreys. The last tackle. And there, in fact, is the half-time hooter. And at half-time here at Spotland, Hull with a try by Rob Nolan, just a minute or so from half-time, converted by Paul Eastwood, have regained the lead. Early tries to Hull by Nolan. And Turner, both converted by Eastwood. Those two early tries gave Hull a good early lead, but Rochdale replied very, very well with Gallagher scoring and winger Turner. So at half-time, in what has been an entertaining first half, a very fluid moving first half, Hull lead by 18 points to 14. And for his summary of the first half, plenty to talk about, Brian Horwell.
Yeah, at first Hull looked as though they were going to run away with it. Forwards were very, very strong, and Rochdale had great difficulty controlling them down the middle. Harrison, Dannett making yards, John Sharp in particular, and Jackson, all making yards up the middle, and it looked so easy. They got the two early tries on the board, and Rochdale looked out of the game, and then they got a couple of penalties, gave them a little bit of territorial advantage, and then it really went on from there, and playing quite a high speed, really, zipping the ball about left to right, and Grogan bringing people on, particularly short balls, people running flat. They've started to look quite dangerous, and twice the split Hull defence to score tries that the winger Turner was able to convert, and Turner also kicked a penalty. And I looked down on the notes and say we're down 14 points to 8. And then, of course, Hull pulled back towards the end. Probably a coincidence that Cleel came on. It was just that we just steadied down, moved it to the right, and found a gap again. I suppose it's like any game of rugby league. It is about settling down, and if Hull settle down quickly again in the first half, I think they'll realise it, shake any complacency they might have had that Rochdale were going to lay down for them. If they get on top again in the start of the second half, I don't think they'll let that happen again, Steve, and I think they'll make pressure pay.
So there we are. We'll be back shortly with the half-time score here at Spotland. Hull 18, Rochdale 14.
At EYG, we're committed to quality. The many customers who bought their windows, doors and conservatories from us tell us that the expertise of the company after 20 years in the business is abundantly evident at all stages of production. All your windows, doors and conservatories are custom built in our modern factory. Because of this, we eliminate the middleman and ensure that our quality comes to you at a price you can afford. And speaking of quality, take a look at the way we make your Slenderline UPVC windows and doors. At EYG, all joints are heat welded, not for us the glued and screwed methods of some manufacturers. It's perhaps not surprising that Slenderline UPVC systems are the most popular range of windows, doors and patios. High insulation coupled with freedom from maintenance are the two major factors which add to the growing number of satisfied customers. A unique multi-chamber design gives extremely low conductivity and high insulation value. Most sections are reinforced for strength with a galvanized steel insert. UPVC's brilliant white looks are as durable as the product itself. Weathering tests have proved a color durability of over 20 years. At EYG, all our glass sheets are machine cut, avoiding waste and unnecessary cost. This sequence shows how your double-glazed units are made. The glass is scrupulously cleaned through high-pressure washes and then rigorously inspected. Our 20mm spacer bar is placed on the glass. Another pane then follows to complete the unit. The unit is hermetically sealed for additional strength and insulation. And all our sealed units are made to measure for your own home. Just one of the ways in which we meet your individual needs. Would you settle for less? Our research and drawing teams give a high priority to the evaluation of any new developments in design, systems or materials. We're proud of our strong reputation, but we also look to the future. Hence the introduction of our Defiant residential door locking system, now fitted to most of our UPVC doors. In tests carried out by specialists, it performed impressively. 10 minutes of this kind of treatment failed to break the lock. Moreover, after the attempt, the door still functioned normally. The secret is in this unique system which uses long-throw 18mm upper and lower brass deadbolts to considerably strengthen the central lock itself. The result, remarkable security. Would you settle for less? The Defiant system is just one example of EYG striving for perfection. There are many good reasons why discerning people buy their window systems, doors, patios and conservatories from EYG. They may be influenced, for example, by the care and attention to individual requirements shown by EYG staff at all stages of negotiation and purchase. They'll no doubt be thankful that they received no heavy sales pressure. With our commitment to quality at affordable prices, who needs hard sell? After you've placed your order, our surveyors call out to take detailed measurements. We're now going to look at the step-by-step construction of an EYG Victorian conservatory. Foundations and footings are built to last. A conservatory is strong only when its foundations have a depth more than adequate to cope with winter storms. At EYG, we're aware that a conservatory is an investment for life. An EYG conservatory is not just a lean-to, but an additional room to the house, which can be used all year round. Would you settle for less? Where brickwork is required, it's carried out by experienced professionals. Every stage of construction demands the same highest levels of skill and commitment to ensure that the Victorian is built to last. "20 years of experience lie behind our ability to work quickly, efficiently, and with a minimum of fuss. The Victorian is of UPVC reinforced construction, has roof glazing, insulating polycarbonate multi-cavity panes, and glass panels in 28mm double glazed units. Like all EYG conservatories, it conforms to British Standard 6262, our commitment to quality, to you. Would you settle for less? Other EYG conservatories are the Regency, with elegant carved detailing on its main window units, and for those whose tastes lean towards Georgian, the Tropicana, with its solid GRP roof, adaptable to different property styles. EYG conservatories are designed to suit individual tastes, whether your choice is for a conservatory to blend in with a large residence or a small family home. Whatever the size or style, EYG conservatories are enjoyed by all the family. The growing band of customers who've congratulated us on our conservatories are complemented by those who appreciate the same high standards of EYG double glazing. When we fit your double glazing units, we understand how important your home is to you. We keep disturbance and untidiness to the minimum. This customer has chosen high security Guardian windows. These differ from ordinary systems in that, put simply, the windows are glazed from the inside. The problem is that however secure the locks on double glazed units, with most frames actually removing the glass panels is not too difficult. The EYG Guardian system beats the burglar by using glazing bead applied from the interior of the house during installation. The bead can't be reached or removed from the outside, and neither can the glass panels. Would you settle for less? In addition to UPVC systems, EYG provide windows and doors in aluminium or in hardwood. Like UPVC, aluminium requires very little maintenance. The EYG style harmonizes with all kinds of property. But if you're one of those people no less discerning who swear by the satisfying richness and texture of natural wood, we're sure you'll be won over by EYG's impressive range of top-quality hardwood windows. Each unit is manufactured from specifically selected kiln-dried hardwood, each unit treated to ensure the longest possible life. Would you settle for less? As you might expect, the same high standards of elegance and security are applied to our commercial windows and doors. Here too, EYG bring a wealth of experience in meeting your individual needs. So let's recap on the benefits you'll receive by choosing EYG. Firstly, security. There's the comfort of knowing that the protection of your home or premises is our top priority. The Defiant door locking system and our Guardian windows are clear evidence of this. Secondly, as members of the Glass and Glazing Federation, our strong commitment to quality and security extends throughout the range of our work, from the heat welding of our UPVC window joints and our internally glazed window systems to our meticulous surveying and our firm, solid foundations. All our work is enhanced by the use of top-quality materials in the hands of the highest skilled craftsmen. We give a 10-year warranty backed by 20 years in the business. And of course, because we, the manufacturers, sell direct to you, our prices are always competitive. Finally, let's not forget by how much EYG systems enhance your property. EYG systems are designed to make homes look more attractive, and because they can be tailored to your individual needs, they blend remarkably well in a wide variety of locations. At EYG, we meet our clients' needs to the highest possible standards of style, specification, and security. Can you afford to settle for less?
So we're about to get underway in the second half. Rochdale to kick off. Colin Whitfield gets us underway. Ball bounces awkwardly for Ontar, but he does well to pick it up. Turner. Dunnett running close to the ruck. John Sharp bringing it up. Been a good yardage gainer in the first half, John Sharp.
Yeah, very impressive. As much yard as any of the whole forwards.
Here's Cleo. No frills football from Hull at the moment. Clearing the lines. Eastwood to kick downtown. Driving Rochdale back into their own quarter line. Played by Higgins. There's a Hull chaser can move up on him. And he's tackled on his own 25-yard line. Sullivan from acting halfback makes a few yards. To the short side, here's Cowie. Humphreys. And no way through the whole forwards in the middle of the field. Back to Whitfield for the kick. Runs himself. Rochdale lost their main kicker here. But Hull cleans up and in fact puts in a beauty. Very good touch finder onto Hull's left and finds a position inside the Hull quarter. So a well manufactured kick by Martin Hall on the last tackle. Turner in off his wing to take the ball from the scrum. Loses his boot in the process. Mackey, Lee Jackson. Gay finds Dunnett, who bundles off Humphreys. Jackson. Harrison running close to the ruck, and Hull have made good yards on those plays. The two props, very prominent. Mackey. Cleo. Running hard at the defence. Offloads nicely out to Nolan. Last tackle, but Hull have cleared a good 50-plus yards on that sequence of play. McNamara puts up the bomb. Well taken by Whitfield. Immediately tackled by Lee Jackson. Sullivan from acting halfback. McDermott has a run, but very well tackled by McNamara. His marker defence is really top class. Grogan trying to find room without success. Long ball out to centre Lord, but Brad Webb is up to make the tackle, and really Rochdale have made very few yards forwards in these 5 plays. The long ball out to McDermott. This is the last tackle, and really that's poor play by Rochdale, not any sort of kick in there, and they concede the turnover. Mackey, and really trying that ball, taking the tackle, trying to get the pass out to the supporting Nolan, but the ball going forward. But very promising from a Hull point of view, the ease with which they contain Rochdale.
Yeah. Excellent tackling, Steve. Excellent tackling.
Rochdale have the put in. McNamara breaks away very quickly from the scrum, but the Rochdale centre Nixon takes it away. Grogan on the short side. Humphreys. McDermott out to Sullivan. And again, Rochdale struggling to clear the yardage. 5th tackle again. Hall kicks, the ball is charged down. And it'll be back to 1 there. And a Hull player down on the floor, looking to be in some trouble. Grogan, meanwhile, will pass out to Cowie. Still 10 yards inside the Rochdale half. It looks like McNamara who's down here. McDermott brings it up, offloads nicely to second rower Gormley. They move it to the right. Sullivan, inside ball to Whitfield. John Sharp read it fairly easily, makes the tackle. Grogan. Lovely ball out to Nixon, and he tries one pass too many. And the referee has awarded a knock-on. But the danger man looking there again, Bob Grogan. Lovely ball, that.
Lovely flat ball for the man in the gap again. I don't see the referee's decision now. There, it was a second knock-on, and Hull should have had the advantage, I think, of the head and feet there, Steve.
I didn't see any advantage to Hull. And they win the ball from the scrum, but the referee orders it to go down again. Ian Marlowe is warming up on the touchline. And a penalty awarded against Rochdale. Well, I wonder if he realised it made a blob there.
Maybe, yes, maybe.
That's 1 each on the own feet stakes. And Eastwood kicks the penalty, and Hull take the restart 10 yards inside the Rochdale half. Eastwood himself comes on a run. Jackson out to McNamara. Now well recovered, Carl Harrison. Jackson from acting halfback. Lovely ball to Cleal. And here's Ontar, and he's given a forward pass, the ball from Cleal to Ontar. The crowd here were calling for a forward pass from Jackson to Cleal, but I thought that one was okay. Probably the last one he's called correctly. Rochdale win the ball, Whitfield. Good tackle by Richard Gay on his opposite number. Running away from acting halfback is Lord. A long ball out to centre Nixon, the Kiwi. The crowd howling for offside at the moment. And Noel Cleal actually standing well offside of that play of the ball, but that kick is too deep and rolls touch and go. Certainly Hull players in front of the referee.
That Cleal was certainly 2 yards in front of the referee there.
Lee Jackson restarts play from the quarter line. And offside against Rochdale. Well, not at all a popular decision around about us. A mixture of disbelief and black humour here. Anyway, Hull have the restart 10 yards outside the quarter line, and Eastwood almost gets in the way of... Dannett almost gets in the way of Eastwood. McNamara drops off Harrison. Short ball inside. Beautiful ball to Richard Gay. Outside to Jackson, and Cleal fumbles. Rochdale come up with possession. So Hull are making the breaks but not quite finishing at the moment. Cowie this time is tackled well by John Sharp, but he gets it away. It's out to Whitfield, and he's tackled 15 yards from his own line. Referee getting plenty of advice about the 5-metre rule. Humphreys makes the quarter line. Sullivan, a long ball out to Grogan. Inside ball to McDermott. Well read by Andy Dannett, good tackle. But he then undoes the good work by giving away the penalty for holding down. Complaining that he himself was being interfered with, but really Andy should have got away there from that tackle. Done the good job. Whitfield kicks the main stand. Humphreys brings it up inside the whole half. McDermott slips it nicely to Humphreys. 10 yards inside the whole half now. They move it to the left, but it's spilled by second row Gallagher, I think. We've had 11 and a half minutes of the second half. The score as it was at the interval. That scrum's a bit untidy. The ball actually came out to Rochdale, but the referee orders a re-scrum. Onta has it. Goes from the scrum base, scrambles a few yards, back inside the Rochdale half. John Sharp brings it up. Clearly used as a decoy. Jackson goes on his own, makes good yards. Harrison, good strong charge. Now all have got the pressure. Onta, out to Mackie. Mackie sets Cleal up on the inside. Out to Onta, quick ball to Dennett. Long ball out to Nolan. Now is the room. Eastwood takes the ball well, but a good tackle by Rochdale winger Turner. Hull still use the short side. Mackie, long ball out to Nolan on the wing, who kicks. The ball eventually gathered by the Rochdale fullback, Whitfield. Here's Humphreys, very player, easy to recognise to his balding head. Grogan, long ball out to, now here's Webb, stepped inside by, and here's a chance on the outside, but a good tackle across by John Sharp, does enough to stop his man. It was Lord who made the break. Sullivan juggles the ball, holds on, tackle by Mackie, sixth tackle. Grogan on the short side, they're looking for a sixth tackle play. Centre Nixon takes it, picks up winger Higgins, but he is tackled, and that's the sixth, and it should be a turnover. Rochdale look quite dangerous in the centres, right?
Yes, they do. They look quite good when they move the ball wide.
Onta has to take the ball from acting halfback at that turnover. Mackie runs himself, tackled hard by Gormley and Gallagher. And Harrison, a rather ambitious ball, rolls a few inches forward. Nothing really on there. And the ball goes to ground. So it's a scrum on the halfway line with Rochdale's head and put in. And own feet awarded straight away against Sullivan. Referee quite adamant about that one. Do you think he's been consistent with this, Brian?
I think he has, really. I think he has. Quite a crucial stage of the game now, Steve. I think we've been playing, nearly a quarter of an hour. Now the side scored. Hull have had two chances to score, and I think, they need to put one away within the next couple of minutes or so.
Brad Webb takes it from the restart and ducks under the tackles, makes it to within 10 yards of the Rochdale line. Onta, McNamara, Mackie goes on his own. Play now within 3 or 4 yards of the Rochdale line. Mackie Onta, out to McNamara. McNamara sees a sniff of the line. Tackled well by Cowie. John Sharp from acting halfback. And his eyes go over the line. Rochdale players not happy about it, but the try is given. And John Sharp on a low darting run from acting halfback. Not a pretty try, but just the try that Brian Holwell was expecting Hull to get in these last few minutes. They've finally made the pressure they've had in the second half count. Not much to say about that one, except really, its importance in the game.
Exactly, just at the right time. Good strong running by John Sharp. It's typified his game today, actually.
And Ian Marlowe is about to enter the fray. Looks as if he's going to come on for Carl Harrison. Eastwood is successful, so Hull's lead extended now to 10 points at 24-14. And Marlowe, in fact, is coming on for Harrison. Now, we've seen Rochdale's powers of recovery in the first half. It's very important now that Hull bring the ball back up into the quarter, Hull Rochdale's quarter, where most of the second half, in fact, has been played. Ontar fumbles the ball from the restart, but Turner is able to bring it away. 10 yards away from their own line, Hull. Ian Marlowe straight into play. John Sharp again. Done it. Clears the quarter line. Back to Eastwood for the kick. Here's Higgins. Going across the field, but no forward yardage. Ball out to Gallagher. A good tackle there by Mackey. But Mackey is penalised for going through the ruck. And Rochdale have a penalty to enable them to clear their line. Humphreys brings it up. Met by good solid tackling. Marlowe again prominent. Dannett in there too. Cowie. Quick play of the ball. Martin Hall. Brings Gormley up close to the ruck inside the Hull half. Grogan, the danger man. Nice ball to Whitfield. But that one, he's not able to cope with the pressure there, and the ball goes forward. Now, will the referee feel the need to even up the scrum penalties? No, Onta has it. Neil Turner in off the wing. Makes the halfway line. Mackey is at acting halfback. Richard Gay inside the Rochdale half, about 7 or 8 yards. McNamara. No runners to pick up, so he has to go on his own. Ian Marlowe steps nicely inside the first tackle. Play now just short of the Rochdale quarter line. Brad Webb from acting halfback. Only just taken by the shirt. Lee Jackson. Out to Mackey. Noel Cleo. Lovely ball to Marlowe. And out to Marlowe. The ball out to Webb rather. And the ball now touched by a Rochdale player. We're back to 1. But Mackey tries. Don't know what he tried there. A little bit too clever, and the ball goes to ground. And it looks as if a Rochdale player is hurt. Referee has stopped the clock, and attention immediately being called for the player who's injured. Perhaps Hull are trying too much on the early tackles once they've got the ball inside the Rochdale quarter. They had a clear 6 to go there.
Yes, they did. I think Mackie was trying to pass around the man, and it wasn't really necessary. You know, a simple pass would have been better, Steve, with 5 more tackles to go.
"23 minutes gone in the second half, and this game far from won yet. Play restarts. Rochdale playing the ball. The first tackle. Humphreys met well by Cleal. Cowie brings it away, breaks a few tackles. That's well over the quarter line. Good run by this prop. Miss that danger man, Nixon. All under a bit of pressure here. Last tackle. Grogan kicks for the touchline, but it touches the corner flag. And although the Rochdale fans getting a bit annoyed, little bit of bad luck for Rochdale, but the referee quite right. The corner flag is touching goal, and so that's a restart on the quarter line. Just a couple of inches off being a beautiful kick.
Yes, it was. Good 50-yard kick by Grogan, then just looked very unlucky.
Rochdale make a substitution. Carl Marriott comes onto the field, and he's replaced second row forward Gallagher, I think. Dannett, a good short ball to Sharp. Oh, but Sharp throws the inside ball, and it's taken by a Rochdale player. And here's Cowie again, offloading nicely to substitute Marriott. Rochdale certainly not giving this one up. Sullivan out to Grogan, drifts across the field, picks up Whitfield, but Mackie reads the play beautifully and makes a lovely ball and all tackle. Sullivan again, probing for a runner, finds Marriott, offloads nicely to Sullivan, supporting him. And the ball bumbles around, and the referee plays the knock on. So the scrum will go down deep inside the whole quarter. And this is a game that's showing the very competitive nature of this year's First Division, Brian.
Rochdale certainly haven't given up.
And the penalty conceded for treating his own feet by Patrick Ontar. And Rochdale now with the best position they've had in the half, a clear 6 tackles inside the whole quarter. Humphreys brings it up. Both the Rochdale props have worked very, very hard today. Cowie finds Sullivan. Breaks through Cleal's tackle, but Rochdale lose a few yards on that play. Cowie runs at them himself. He's broken a few tackles in the last few minutes, looks confident. And the referee penalises Jackson for going through the play of the ball, but I must say I thought that was a bad play of the ball by Rochdale. It didn't emerge clearly from the ruck. I thought he was entitled to do that, maybe.
Yeah, I think he probably was. A bit of a 50-50 decision, but pretty much in front of the whole posts.
So a chance for Turner to peg the lead back to 6 points. And if Rochdale are a bottom of the First Division side, which they are at the moment, then it speaks volumes for the quality of the league. And Turner is successful with the conversion, so we're back to 24-18. And 14 minutes to go, so plenty of time yet. There's a lot of football left in this game yet. Steve McNamara ready to kick off. Ball taken by Higgins, the wingman. And he stopped 5 yards short of his own quarter line. Now Hull will be determined to try and keep Rochdale in their own quarter. Gormley. Again, they use the short side, Humphreys. They move it to the right. Cowie again standing wide, breaking a tackle but unable to make much further progress. Hall kicks well, kicks very well. And Richard Gay, all he can do is watch the ball go into touch, so that's an excellent kick by Martin Hall. Gaining fully 70 yards on that play. Now we don't want a known feet penalty here, do we, Brian?
Well, the Rochdale hooker, Hall, shown a lot of skill.
They win the ball against the head. And a penalty awarded against Hull, against Onta, for offside at the scrum. More pressure for Hull. I think this is a differential penalty. And Whitfield makes touch. So real pressure now for Hull. Humphreys brings it up. Loses the ball on the first tackle. That's relief for Hull. And Marlowe brings it away. Crucial mistake by Rochdale there. And Dannett's turn this time to bring it outside the quarter line. Jackson to Dannett, but no forward momentum there. Mackey, outside ball to Sharp. Back to Eastwood for the kick. Drills it down over Whitfield's head. That's a good kick. The Hull chasers are up now then. Can they make the tackle? Good tackling by Marlowe and Jackson. Lord is tackled about 6 or 7 yards outside his own quarter. Gormley on the short side. Grogan goes for the straightforward pass, this time to Cowie. And Hull have got possession. Cleal has taken the ball from Cowie in the tackle, something we saw a lot of in the Leeds game. Onta goes from acting halfback. John Sharp. Onta. Dannett. Well met by these Rochdale forwards who are certainly not giving it up. Dannett throws a risky ball back. It's picked up by Richard Gay. Looks for support. Noel Cleal. Good one on the short side, out to Turner. Turner tackled into touch a few yards from the line. Certainly today the Hull halfbacks have not had the freedom, the chance to dictate players have had in certainly in the Widnes game last week.
Certainly not. The Rochdale pack have really tightened up the defence in the second half, Steve. They're unrecognisable from the first half, that first 20 minutes or so. They're really tackling hard and in numbers.
Bad ball from McDermott. Grogan picks it up. And Hull have the ball. It's the strength of the tackle. Jackson, Sharp, runs hard at them. Play within 6 or 7 yards of the line, and there's a bit of argument going on off the ball here, but Marlowe meanwhile takes the ball to within 2 or 3 yards of the Rochdale line. Nolan goes from acting halfback. Mackie, Onta, ball out to Brad Webb. Webb finds a bit of room, and Webb scores under the post. And that could be the clincher for Hull. The ball moved quickly back to the left here. Onta, the ball out to Brad Webb, slipped his first man, and he's pretty good in those close situations like that. He's got that pace, he's got that step, and he was able to go in under the posts for what could be the match-winning try for Hull. So that takes the score up to 28-18 for Hull. And we have Paul Eastwood's kick to come. Another success for Paul Eastwood. His fifth of the afternoon. And Hull now perhaps with 8 minutes to go, have got the lead. But I'm sure Rochdale haven't given up. They've showed a very spirited performance. Meanwhile, we've got a substitution. McNamara coming off and Carl Harrison returning. From the kick-off, Onta spills the ball, and the scrum will go down 5 yards from the whole line, so pressure's back on again. We mustn't speak too soon about this. And from the ball, from the scrum, a good hook by Lee Jackson or somebody in that front row, and Onta comes up with the ball. Chance to redeem his error. Neil Turner from acting halfback. Oh, and Carl Harrison, half an eye perhaps on the man there, and spills the ball. Not been one of Carl Harrison's best games today. He is coming back after the shoulder injury. Perhaps needs to regain his confidence. A penalty awarded against Hull at that scrum before the ball went in.
Backing down too early, that one, sir.
A Rochdale kick for touch and take the second penalty about 20 yards away from the Hull line. Here's Sullivan. Ball out to Humphreys. Playing midfield, 10 yards, 12 yards from the Hull line. Hall himself from acting halfback. Sullivan across the field. Grogan switches play. Brings Cowie on the outside. Hall drops off McDermott, who's scored a lot of tries from that position in his career. Humphreys held up about 4 yards short. Last tackle. Will Rochdale try a kick? Grogan, long ball out to Nixon, lovely ball out to substitute Marriott, but he's tackled. Hull read the play well and make the tackle and come up with a turnover. Brad Webb from acting halfback makes a few yards forward. Paul Eastwood from acting halfback. Carl Harrison on the short side. Lee Jackson goes on his own, makes very good yards inside the Rochdale half. Back to Eastwood for the kick. The Hull chase as well up there on Higgins as he has to take the ball across the field, and Nolan makes an excellent tackle, and Rochdale now pinned 10 yards away from their own line. McDermott out to Grogan, out to Whitfield, and out to Centre Nixon. McDermott kicks through, but brilliantly taken by Rob Nolan. Fine take that. John Sharp takes a good flat ball from acting halfback. Can Hull finish with a flourish? Onta dummies the drop off, finds Dannett on his outside, but Dannett's pass goes astray, and it's picked up by a Rochdale player, and Hull concede the penalty. And Hull offside. Rochdale man of the match, Tony Humphreys. Who would you make Hull's man of the match award today, Brian?
I think I've been very impressed with Lee Jackson's tackling in the middle of the field, Steve, and the breaks he's made, and John Sharp as well. I think I'd put it between those two.
Humphreys. Sullivan. Floated ball out to Gormley, but he's watching the man, and the ball goes to ground, picked up by Marlowe. Hull just inside the Rochdale half. Dannett. And an inside ball to Nolan, which goes to ground. Play getting a bit scrappy, really. Only 2 minutes to go. And Hull at 30 points to 18 would seem to have the game won. Now Hull push well from that scrum. It breaks nicely though, and it's picked up well by McDermott. Very alert to the situation, and the penalty conceded by Greg Mackey, who holds McDermott down at the play of the ball. Rochdale take the penalty and now get a position just 5 yards or so from the Hull line. Humphreys takes it up. Switch of play. Whitfield on the outside, but the Hull defence not drawn in. Plenty of tacklers over, Nolan and Eastwood in there. McDermott from acting halfback. And the ball pinched nicely by Paul Eastwood. Well done. Clever play. Ian Marlowe beats the first tackle and makes the quarter line. Noel Cleal on the outside. Eastwood dummies to kick. And is tackled, and we make it slightly early, but the hooter goes to signify the end of the game and Hull's fourth consecutive league win, which keeps them on top of the Stonesborough Championship tonight. Played 4-1-4. You can't do any better than that. I don't think this has been as convincing a performance as the game against Widnes last week. It's been a competent performance, and we've come up with 5 good tries in the game and won by 12 clear points in the end. But we mustn't underestimate Rochdale, who played that part in an entertaining game, and they've shown the classic problems of the newly promoted side. They've played with a lot of spirit, they've been very competitive, quite well organised, but they just can't seem to be able to win. Brian, it's 4 out of 4. Wigan next week. Have a look back at this game and a look forward to that.
I think what this game showed today was how difficult it will be to win the First Division. On the face of it, this is obviously one of Hull's easier matches. Rochdale are expected to finish near the bottom of the league, and I imagine probably they will by May. But like every other team in the First Division, they've got good players, they're fit, they're quite well organised, and above all, they're determined. They kept going for 80 minutes, and for most of the game, they were in with a chance. Having said that, Hull, without looking as convinced as they did against Widnes, never really looked like they'd get beaten. Because of their extra power and strength in the forwards, it always seemed a matter of time before they would wear Rochdale down and score the necessary tries, which in fact really that they did towards the end. I think what I would like to see from Hull, I think, as the season developed, we saw Brad Webb with 1 chance and 1 try. At the moment, I think that the biggest criticism I would have is that we're not really using our centres. Nolan had 2 half chances. Admittedly, the tackling was weak, but he scored. Webb had 1 chance and he scored. And I think that's really something to look forward to, Steve, as the season develops, that we start to use our centres, or our three-quarter line as a whole, rather better than we have done. You know, the forwards are good, and obviously you play to your strengths. But I think we've got match winners elsewhere in the team, and maybe, you know, as we hit a steady pattern, and as we develop and as the season develops, we'll be able to do that.
Rochdale didn't give us as much room this week, certainly as Widnes did last week, and certainly from the halfbacks, Sontan, especially Greg Mackey, weren't able to control the game in the same way, not quite to the same extent.
No, they're both had reasonable games and they both worked hard, but you're quite right. After they'd got over that first 10-15 minutes where Rochdale looked pretty awful and looked as though they were going to get beaten by 50 points, in fact they tackled them, they tightened the midfield defence up considerably. The whole of their front row tackled really well. I was quite impressed with Anthony Sullivan, and of course Grogan, who Mackie was marking, had an outstanding game for Rochdale, I thought, on attack. Gave out some really nice passes, got deep and got people running off him. Did very well. No, we didn't, because they tackled hard. They were small, but they were quite quick off the mark, and they made that pay in defence, I think. It was quite a hard game for Hull in the middle of the field. Other than we certainly made more progress with the big forwards running more than anything else.
I was just going to say that Hull have had the better of the yardage game, haven't they? Better organised, bringing it up, and more power there.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. We always looked that we would break them down the middle, no matter how hard they tackled. I thought Tony Humphries, who must be really in the veteran stage for Rochdale, he played at Warrington, didn't he, before this, had a wonderful game for them. You know, he was giving stones away to Andy Dannett, but he gave nothing away in heart. He had a great game, and I thought he well deserved their Man of the Match award. And I think I said earlier, I was quite impressed with Cowie as well, who runs out third, fourth man, and he's quite dangerous. Gave him one or two sloppy passes, but he's strong and he can turn and give the ball to his supporting players.
Well, looking forward to next week. It's the ultimate test, I suppose. Wigan at home. We don't know how they've got on today. We know they were behind at half-time at Bradford. But this is the game that's really going to show whether we've got a good chance of winning the championship. It's not make or break, obviously, at this stage, but we beat Wigan next week. Really, we've got a great chance of going on. The boys should be very confident then.
Yeah, it's the dream played 5, won 5, isn't it? Yes, it will be. I think at half-time score they were losing odds till 16-7. From a personal point of view, I think I'd rather they won, because if they lose, they'll really be under pressure to to come to Hull to get a result. Yeah, very intriguing game. Very, very intriguing game. Depend what kind of team we can put out, Steve. Whether Hanley's playing, whether Gregory is, but it will be, and it very, very important. It should fill the boulevard.
It certainly should, and that's what we hope next week, that we've got a jam-packed boulevard, and how great that would be. It reminds me of the old days to see the boulevard full and Hull at the top of the table. And here after the game today, I've got with me Hull director Mike Stanley, a relieved man at the end of that game. An important win for Hull, if not a classic performance.
Yeah, very relieved man, Steve. Excellent victory. Any victory away from home is okay by me.
First trip into Lancashire this year, and we've come up with the 2 points, which we didn't too often last year.
No, we realised before the game it was going to be a hard game, but as I say, Rochdale played with a lot of spirit. I think they're bottom of the league in position, but certainly on ability they're a better team than that.
Yeah, it looks as if it's going to be a very, very competitive first division this year, doesn't it?
Certainly does, and it's nice to have 4 out of 4. Good start to the season. Really looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, let's look ahead then briefly to next week's game, and we've got the might of Wigan. It's definitely the side of the last few years in rugby league, and I think we're looking forward to an enormous crowd next week. Let's hope so.
Yeah. Let's hope it's a 5-figure crowd. I think the club deserves it. I think the players deserve it, and I think all the people behind the scenes deserve a big crowd on next Sunday.
Yeah, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes at the moment of the Boulevard. Would you like to tell us about a few of the developments?
Well, this particular thing we're doing now, the video, it's been an outstanding success. We sold something in the region of 200 videos last week, and it's excellent value for the money, and it's just one of the many things we're trying to do off field.
And the progress of the new stand coming along well?
On schedule.
So it'll be ready for the Australian game in November?
We're very, very confident, yes.
Excellent. And of course the changes in the bar arrangements and the kind sponsorship and help of Tetley's, that's going well, isn't it, too?
That's tremendous. The Tetley sponsorship and the people involved at Tetley's are absolutely first class. We've already got nearly 1,000 members of the new Hull FC Leagues Club. We've called it the Leagues Club to give it its own identity away from the Supporters Club. Not that we're trying to compete with the Supporters Club, we aren't. It's a different setup altogether. But it's going tremendously well. We've had a first month's trading absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, well, I know you're a sort of modest, self-effacing sort of bloke, and quite difficult to pin you down to an interview today, but yeah. I know you've done a lot of the work off the scene, so keep up the good work, Mike, and the rest of the board, and let's see Hull go from strength to strength.
Yeah, thanks, Steve, and thanks to you and Brian, and to Advance Productions. They're doing a first-class job.
So from Steve Olsen at Rochdale, thanks to Mike Stanley for the interview. Goodbye. Thank you.